Welcome back to that God Power. This is the channel where we're going to unlock the God Power laying dormant on the inside of you. But first today, what we got to do is keep on going with the book of Genesis. Last time we did 30. This time we're doing 31. So, if you didn't see what happened last time, you should go back and watch it. But just remember that, Laban cheated Jacob. You know what I'm saying? He cheated him. You should go back and watch how that happened. Anyways, but Jacob soon learned that Laban's sons were grumbling about him. Jacob has robbed our father of everything, they said. He has gained all his wealth at our father's expense. And Jacob began to notice a change in Laban's attitude towards him. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your father and grandfather and your relatives there, and I will be with you." So Jacob called Rachel and Leah out to the field where he was watching his flock. And he said to them, "I have noticed that your father's attitude towards me has changed, but the God of my father has been with me. You know how hard I've been working for your father, but he has cheated me, changing my wages 10 times. But God has not allowed him to do me any harm. For if he said, 'The speckled animals will be your wages,' the whole flock began to produce speckled young. And when he changed his mind and said that the striped animals will be your wages, then the whole flock produced striped young. In this way, God has taken your father's animals and given them to me." So Jacob, now he's heard the voice of God, and he's like, okay, let me call my wives out to the field to explain to them what's going on for real, if they're not seeing what's actually happening here. So that's what he's doing, is explaining it to them. "One time, during the mating season, I had a dream, and I saw that the male goats mating with the female goats were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Then, in my dream, the angel of God said to me, 'Jacob,' and I replied, 'Yes, here I am.' Then the angel said, 'Look up, and you will see that only the streaked, speckled, and spotted males are mating with the females of your flock. For I have seen how Laban has treated you. I am the God who appeared to you at Bethel, the place where you anointed the pillar of the stone and made your vow to me. Now, get ready and leave this country and return to the land of your birth." So, again, this is confirming that Jacob heard the voice of God. Now he's telling his wives that, hey, I heard the voice of God telling me I got to get gone. So, Rachel and Leah, his wives, responded, "That's fine with us. We won't inherit any of our father's wealth anyways. He's reduced our rights to those of foreign women. And after he sold us, he wasted the money you paid him for us. All the wealth God has given you from our father legally belongs to us and our children. So go ahead, do whatever God has told you to." So the girls was down with Jacob's decision because they already were not going to get anything that their father had anyways. Their father treated them like foreigners, foreign women at that. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't inheriting anything, but through Jacob they legally were. So they're like, "Hey, do what you do, Jacob." You know what I'm saying? So Jacob put his wives and his children on camels, and he drove all his livestock in front of him. He packed up all the belongings he had acquired in Paddan Aram and set out for the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac lived. At the time they left, Laban was some distance away shearing his sheep. Rachel stole her father's household idols and took them with her. Of course she did. You know what I'm saying? Rachel, if we can remember from the last time, Rachel is, you know what I'm saying? Rachel's like that. Of course she did, right? Jacob outwitted Laban the Aramean, for they set out secretly and never told Laban they were leaving. So Jacob took all his possessions with him, crossed the Euphrates River, heading for the hill country of Gilead. Now, Jacob just took his stuff, the stuff that he had. Now, Rachel, on the other hand, went in her father's whatever belongings and took his idols, took his belongings. And that is not cool. Because Jacob, he didn't sanction that. He didn't say go do that. But Rachel is like that, like as we know already. Anyways, 3 days later, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. So he gathered a group of his relatives and set out in hot pursuit. He caught up with Jacob 7 days later in the hill country of Gilead. But the previous night, God had appeared to Laban, the Aramean, in a dream and told him, "I am warning you, leave Jacob alone." Laban caught up with Jacob as he was camped in the hill country of Gilead, and he set up his camp not far from Jacob's. What do you mean by deceiving me like this? Laban demanded. How dare you drag my daughters away like prisoners of war? Why did you slip away secretly? Why did you deceive me? And why didn't you say you wanted to leave? I would have given you a farewell feast with singing and music accompanied by tambourines and harps. Why didn't you let me kiss my daughters and my grandchildren and tell them goodbye? You've acted very foolishly. I could destroy you, but the God of your father appeared to me last night and warned me, leave Jacob alone. I can understand your feeling that you must go and your intense longing for your father's home. But why have you stolen my goods? And Jacob responded, he was like, I rushed away because I was afraid. I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But as for your gods, see if you can find them and let the person who has taken them die. Basically, Jacob was like, see if you can find them, dude, because I don't have them. And if somebody does have them, let them die, you dig? And if you find anything that belongs to you, identify it before all these relatives of ours, and I'll give it back. But Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the household goods or the household idols. So the gods from dude's house, Laban's house. So Jacob didn't know this. Rachel did. So Rachel's probably over there sweating bullets like, oh, fuck. Oh, you can't say that. Like Rachel's over there sweating bullets like, oh, man, I do not know what is about to happen. Laban went first into Jacob's tent to search there, then into Leah's tent, and then in the tent of the two servant wives. He found nothing. Finally, he went into Rachel's tent. But Rachel had taken the household idols and hidden them under her camel saddle, and now she was sitting on them. When Laban had thoroughly searched her tent without finding them, she said to her father, please, sir, forgive me if I don't get up for you. I'm having my monthly period. So Laban continued his search, but he could not find the household idols. So Rachel, again, proving her like thatness, you know what I'm saying? She is like that. She just lied, talking about she's having her period. Because really, she's hiding the idols underneath there. Why she wanted these idols so bad, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know yet. It hasn't been explained, but she wanted them, and she's hiding them, and Laban cannot find them. So then Jacob became very angry, and he challenged Laban. He was like, what's my crime? What have I done wrong to make you chase after me though I was a criminal? You've rummaged through everything I own. Now, show me what you found that belongs to you. Set it out here in front of us before all of our relatives for all to see. Let them judge it between us. For 20 years, I've been with you, caring for your flocks. And all that time, the sheep and goats have never miscarried. In all those years, I've never used a single ram of yours for food. If any were attacked and killed by wild animals, I never showed you the carcass and asked you to reduce the count of your flock. No, I took the loss myself. You made me pay for every stolen animal, whether it was taken in the broad daylight or in the darkness of night. And I worked for you through the scorching heat of the day and through the cold and sleepless nights. Yes, for 20 years, I slaved in your house. I worked for 14 years earning your daughters and then 6 more years for your flock. And you changed my wages 10 times. In fact, if the God of my father had not been on my side, the God of Abraham, the fearsome God of Isaac, you would have sent me away empty-handed. But God seen your abuse and my hard work. That's why he appeared to you last night and rebuked you. Jacob had a mouthful for him. So Jacob was very angry that Laban came through and started rummaging through his camp. Like, what is the deal? Are you serious, dude? Then Laban replied to Jacob, these women are my daughters, these children are my grandchildren, and these flocks are my flock. In fact, everything you see is mine. But what can I do now about my daughters and their children? So come, let's make a covenant, you and I, and it'll be a witness to our commitment. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a monument. Then he told his family members, gather some stones. So they gathered stones and piled them up in a heap. Then Jacob and Laban sat down beside the pile of stones to eat a covenant meal. So there must be some kind of meal that's a covenant meal. They didn't explain what a covenant meal was. They expected you to know what that was. Like, I guess it's part of the culture, right? So he ate a covenant meal. To commemorate the event, Laban called the place Jagar Sahadutha, which means witness pile in Aramaic. And Jacob called it Gilead, which means witness pile in Hebrew. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're communicating with each other, so they didn't speak necessarily different languages, or if they did speak different languages, they understood each other's language. Anyways, then Laban declared this pile of stones will stand as a witness to remind us of the covenant we've made today. This explains why it's called Gilead, witness pile. But it's also called Mizpah, which means watchtower. For Laban said, "May the Lord keep watch between us to make sure that we keep this covenant when we are out of each other's sight. If you mistreat my daughters, or if you marry other wives, God will see it, even if no one else does." He's a witness to this covenant between us. See this pile of stones, Laban continued, and see this monument that's set up between us? They stand between us as a witness of our vows. I'll never pass this pile of stones to harm you, and you must never pass these stones or this monument to harm me. I can call on the God of our ancestors, the God of your grandfather Abraham, the God of my grandfather Nahor, to serve as a judge between us. So Jacob took the oath before the fearsome God of his father Isaac to respect the boundary line. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice to God there on the mountain and invited everyone to a covenant feast. So everybody got to eat the feast. After they had eaten, they spent the night on the mountain. Laban got up early the next morning. He kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left and returned home. So although Laban came at Jacob on some hunt down type stuff, after Jacob bucked up at him, Laban kind of piped down. It's like, dang, what can I actually do now? Let's just make a covenant, my friend. And that's what they did. And so that's how chapter 31 ends. They made a covenant, which is pretty dope. Let's go ahead and see what chapter 32 holds, because this story is getting good. I honestly want to see what's going to happen when Jacob gets back home. Because remember, from a while back, if you can remember the story, Esau and Jacob, like their brothers, they were not on good terms. That's why Jacob left in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens when he gets back. So he's almost back. He's headed home. And he's now on good terms with his uncle Laban. And so let's see what that 32 holds. Hope you learned something in 31. Thank you for joining me. And other than that, I hope that you remember that you got that God power. On your heart, tugging on your... Get them.